Hey everyone, I am Coach Wolverine, and this is Microdosing in my experience, coming at you with week number 6 for a check-in. I want to leave you with a phrase before I get into the meat and potatoes of this video. The body knows, and it's so weird how the body just knows. So before I get into what I mean by the body knows, a quick disclaimer. I am not promoting the use of any sort of substance. This video is purely for educational purposes, and I'm showing up, sharing information through a in my experience lens. Okay, now, the body knows. So to share with you guys a little bit of a background, I went through a bit of a change in my life recently. I was at the same gym for about 3.5 years. I needed a change because I was at the same gym for 3.5 years. It was a fitness facility, which are not normally my jam. Like, I'm more of a small, locally owned club style for a gym. That's my preference, an old warehouse somewhere. That's what I really like. But where I live, that is not accommodatable at this moment. So the time came for me to change. Over the last few weeks, I've been training at home. I tried out a few different gyms, finally made the decision, and on Sunday, on Sunday, I went and purchased a month membership at this new facility. Okay, so in this new facility, I'm walking through the gym. I'm familiar with all the equipment. I've been in this facility 2 times prior, but all of a sudden there was this very familiar feeling. Like, just this unsettled energy just shooting up and down my sternum. You know that feeling when you're looking around in a place that you're not familiar with and you just have the belief that everyone is judging you and your every move. Everyone is watching you. Everyone is just waiting for you to fuck up or drop something, or everyone just knows that you don't belong. You know that feeling I'm talking about? Okay. Well, that feeling is old programming to me. So even though I've been in the gym industry of some sort for about 17 years now, so when I walk into a gym, there's nothing really new to me. The gym atmosphere is familiar, but this specific atmosphere, because I had never been into it, I have never seen these faces, I don't know who these people are, was unfamiliar. So I noticed this old programming trying to just take back over, of being in my head and wondering why I was in this space. Now, a little bit more information. So I don't usually use pre-workouts. On the weekends, especially if I'm training on like a Saturday evening or a Sunday afternoon or a Monday morning, I actually like smoking a little bit of weed prior to my workouts. Okay. I just find the mind-muscle connection is so much better. I'm more focused. I can just feel it better. I just love it. It gets me completely zoned in. For anybody else who also does this, I'm sure you've also accidentally had a little bit too much. So the whole statement of the body knows was like exasperated times 100 because I had smoked just a little bit too much and was in my head about the whole scenario. So basically, to kind of wrap this all up in a nutshell, it was very interesting for me to bear witness to old programming trying to seep its way in, even though I've been doing this act of going to the gym for 17 years. Like, it is literally a internalized habit. So when I have a couple weeks where I'm just like not going to the gym, I feel weird. It's like not brushing my teeth in the morning. It's something you've done for so long, it's just second nature. So I'm in this new space, but it's unfamiliar. There's new places. I'm still figuring out where all the equipment is, and that old programming of like when I was 14 or 15 years old and just kind of like mesmerized by this new gym and not knowing what to do. That old programming is still there. It's still there. The body knows. So the point I want to drive home with this is when we have these spaces, these thoughts, these feelings of vulnerability and discomfort, the situation doesn't change, but our relationship with the situation does change. So we can refer this to like triggers in our body too. The triggers, so like if somebody was to make fun of me and call me fat, that trigger is always going to be there. I grew up being overweight and was bullied for it forever. I'm never going to not remember what it felt like when people made fun of me for that, when people bullied me for that. But what changed is my relationship to that trigger. That light bulb turns off. I'm like, oh, that feels uncomfortable, but I don't feel the need to react anymore. I can choose to respond. So being in the space of like living this, going to the gym and being like, wow, this is unfamiliar. I feel like that kid that's alone on the playground, that old programming. I didn't revert back to the old programming, but I sat in that discomfort. I was aware of it. And I'm just like, okay, it's interesting how the mind and body know. It knows this uncomfortable feeling of something new is the familiar factor. The gym itself is always going to be familiar. I'll always be able to walk into a gym, touch a weight, and know what I'm doing because I've done it for literally longer than a lot of people that are probably consuming this content have been alive. But that programming. So the message I want to drive home here is when we feel certain feelings because we're in a familiar situation, we still have the ability to choose how we want to react. I chose to stay at the gym. I chose to sit in that discomfort of feeling like a newbie at the gym, and I chose to push through. I chose to be witness to my thoughts, not identify with my thoughts, and I ended up getting a pretty rad workout out of the deal. Like, it was a great workout, but I also got this lesson out of it too, is to never forget how far you've come, and always be aware of your thoughts, but never identify with your thoughts. All right? We are what we do. We are not the thoughts that we have. Even though the thoughts that we have will eventually dictate where we're going, it's our actions that will actually take us there. So that's it for today, guys. That is my week number 6 on microdosing. If you are looking at an introductory to microdosing, I will put a link down in the description to my free introduction to microdosing magic mushrooms in my personal experience. So hit that link down below. You'll get prompted over to the download page, and it's an auto download, so it's all free. I hope you enjoy my gift to you. If you have any other experiences, or if you've also microdosed and want to share similar experiences, simply comment below. I would love to hear from you. Outside of that, guys, please like, share, and subscribe. Your support is always greatly appreciated. It's also the only way that this stuff kind of gets out there, right? So on that note, I will see you with the next update of microdosing in my experience. Take care, guys.